right, you guys. New show alert. So couple of shows are winding down. So you know how that goes. It's just a cycle. So we done picked up. Let's try out this Meet the Flockers, the Tammy and the Waka Flocka. Because let me tell you why. Because I like them. I like Tammy. I like Waka. I like the glimpses that we've seen of them on other shows. So let's try them out. Let's see how this goes. So season 1, episode 1, we pick up where if you follow them on social media, they bought a new house last year, I guess it was. And so they were getting some renovations done on the new house. And this is what I will never understand. And maybe this is rich people problems. I will never understand buying a house and then redoing the house. I get it that there are always things you don't like or things you want to fix or improve, but they look like they are doing some major, major renovations. That's just like Dr. Jackie and her husband. Y'all were going to buy a plot of land and build your own house, and then y'all decided to buy another house, and I don't understand why. If you was going to buy another house and just redo the whole damn house, why not just... So, anyway. But here's the problem. Tammy hired a design team, a married couple, and they ran out with her money. Now, she is in the process of suing them, but something that Tammy said that I don't like. She said, I found them on social media. I thought, they were a husband and wife team. I thought they'd be okay. They ran off with the money. That's not my fault. That irritates me when people be like, it's not my fault. First of all, it is your fault. They have this thing called Yelp, okay? Go to Yelp. Go to the Better Business Bureau. Before I give somebody $54,000 of my good money, oh, I'm going to vet them. And I get it. When you have certain, like $54,000 may not be a lot. When you have that kind of money, I don't give a damn if it was $54,000, $500. I'm going to make sure that before I hand over that kind of money to somebody, they're going, So anyway, so Tammy, I didn't like that, but people, it happens. We get duped, and it's not your fault that you dealt with crooks. I mean, sometimes people's a crook is a crook is a crook. Hope you get your money back. But in the meantime, let's keep going. Deb shows up while they're in the midst of talking about, they basically having this conversation for our benefit. Because I'm sure Waka already know all of this. But it was for our benefit to hear that they got duped and what's going on. They got new contractors, though. But, of course, now it's World War III going on in the house. It's dust everywhere. It's, you can hear the saws going and all of that going on, the power tools. Deb shows up. If y'all don't know who Deb Atney is, Deb is, manager to the stars. She, and now she's gotten into producing, like, reality show, whatever. So, she's Waka's mom. Now, come to find out, she's a little irritated with Tammy because Tammy was they didn't go to family dinner, or Tammy was supposed to host a family dinner or something, and Tammy didn't do it. So she was a little irritated at that. And then they started getting into this whole conversation about, well, it's been almost a year since y'all got married. You said you was going to have a baby. What's going on with that? That immediately irritated me because, and here's the thing, I like Deb. Okay? I do. Deb, that ain't your business. And I get it that, well, Tammy said that, she would have another baby, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, you are grandma. You don't have to watch that baby full time. You don't have to take care of that baby full time. If they never have a child, that is not your business. And I think that's really messed up and unfair for you to come rolling up in her house, questioning her about her sexual habits with her husband and why they not pregnant yet. And, of course, Tammy was like, look, I got a lot on my plate right now. Like, I'm really trying to get my career off. We just moved into this new house. We just got married. Even though we've been dating forever, marriage is different. And right now, I'm just a little overwhelmed, and I got a lot going on. And adding a baby to the to-do list right now just really isn't where I'm trying to be. Now, we find out later on in the episode that Tammy is in the studio working on her debut album. She already released the EP, and I actually liked a couple of songs that I've heard of Tammy. I think I have like 1 or 2 even downloaded. And Tammy definitely can sing, and she's definitely talented. And Waka is now semi-retired, and so the focus has sort of shifted from his career to her career. And now isn't the time for her to get pregnant. Like, we know that. We could talk about women's lib and equality all we want, but y'all know, like I know, At the beginning of someone's career is not the time for them to get pregnant. That was why Cardi B got so much backlash. Now, she made it work. Okay, she made it work. But even Cardi B, remember, she was supposed to go on tour with Bruno Mars, and she had to back up off the tour because she was going through postpartum, and she's like, this was a lot harder than she thought. She thought she'd be able to have the baby and bounce back, and so it had, like, that's not something that a man has to deal with. Like, it just is what it is. So moving on. So that's what we're dealing with that. Okay, this first episode is just sort of laying the foundation. Then we're dealing with the issues with their daughter. Waka has basically been the only father that her daughter has known. I'm sorry, y'all. They've been together since the daughter was 4. So Waka is her dad, right? And again, if you follow them on social media, you know that he has totally 100% taken on that role as dad. He loves her, all that good stuff. So Charlie is the daughter, and so Charlie is having the biggest problem with adjusting. They moved into, they bought this new house, they moved into a new neighborhood, and so she's at a new school, and she's having to make new friends, and y'all know that's always hard for a kid to adjust. And then they moved into a majority white neighborhood, so a lot of the kids at her school are white, and she's just trying to get to know kids. Now, Tammy, I don't disagree with anything you did except for one thing. When you did it. Tammy, I think Tammy's biggest thing is, I don't want you to become a spoiled little rich girl. Hold on. I think she's trying to keep her humble. But the flip side of that is, your timing was bad. She went to go pick Charlie up from school, and Charlie got 5 girls with her. And I think Tammy was expecting 1 or 2 of the girls to go home, and it ended up being more girls. And Tammy was like, look, you can't do this. I need to talk to the parents. I need to know what's going on. At the end of the day, God forbid something happened to them kids while we're here, while they at my house. And, because of who we are, it's going to be even more scrutiny. They're going to be ready to sue. Like, you got to be mindful of those things. She said that she feels like Charlie is trying to be the cool kid because she's trying to make friends, and she's a little concerned about that. And again, I understand, and I even understand her having that conversation. But again, it's the when we're going to have that conversation. Then they get back to the house, and instead of letting Charlie just go upstairs and play with her friends, and you dealing with whatever issues you had later, you decide to deal with those issues now. And again, Tammy, just your timing, girl. Her friends are listening to you chastise your daughter. You're embarrassing her in front of these new friends that she's trying to make. She's asking her about her grades, her progress report. Now, you knew that girl was lying when she said, we don't have it yet. You knew the girl was lying then. So what you should do, again, you wait till her friends are gone, and then you say, give me that damn progress report. And I'm pretty sure at a school that as fancy and as the quote-unquote good district that you are in, I'm sure there's some online way for you to check your child's progress report. So if she come home and act like there wasn't no progress report, I know there's a login for you to go and check to see it for yourself. The girl says she fell in PE. And of course, you reacted the same way most people react when we hear somebody is failing PE. PE? The easiest class in the school. Then you ask her about her job. She must have some sort of after school job or whatever. And the girl says she ain't been to school in a month. Tammy, you should have known she hadn't been to school in a month. You end up calling her boss, who I guess is her godmother or somebody, because she said, look, in the real world, your godmother ain't going to have your back. Like, if you don't go to work for a month, you're going to get fired. Well, Charlie got a little bit of a smart mouth. Charlie talking about something, well, this ain't the real world. When I get to the real world, I'll let you know. You don't like your teeth, do you, Charlie? So she calls the godmother, and the godmother says, well, that's on you. You need to make sure she can get to work. No, it's not. No. See, again, I'm with you, Tammy. That's not you. She needs to verbalize that she has to work and how she going to get to work and get home from work. I am pretty certain that that child has an Uber account or a Lyft account. I'm pretty certain. Or worst case scenario, y'all got a car service that y'all can call to get that girl back and forth to work. She's not articulating what she needs, and therefore you don't know. And I get it, Tammy, you have other things on your plate, so keeping up with when she's going to and from work may not be at the top of the list. But I don't put the blame on Tammy for that one. I put the blame on Charlie. Charlie, if you're old enough to have a job, you're old enough to figure out how you're going to get back and forth to work. Or at least articulate to your mom, hey, I got to go to work tomorrow. How you going to get me there? I bet you if you was trying to get to the mall for a brand new sale on whatever it is that you wanted, you'd find out a way to get there and back. You would get a ride. You would figure out a way. Then they asked her about riding the school bus, and she was saying she doesn't like riding the school bus because the kids look at her crazy because she's the only black girl. They ask her crazy questions about her hair and things like that. Again, I'm with Tammy. Tammy said, look, at the end of the day, I get it, but this is something she's going to be dealing with the whole rest of her life. She's got to figure out how to deal with it. You can't just say, well, I don't want to ride the school bus because the kids looking at me funny and I feel like, they're staring at me because I'm the only black girl. You got to figure out a way to make it work. You have to figure out a way to adapt. If Tammy decides that, well, the way we're going to fix it is I'm just going to pick you up and drop you off at school, no, you got to figure out a way to deal with it. Now, if they're being, if they're bullying you or something, then that's something we have to deal with to take it to the next level. But if they just asking you dumb questions about your hair, as a black woman, you're going to get them questions the rest of your life. If they're looking at you crazy, maybe they're not looking at you because you're the only black girl. Maybe they're looking at you because you're new and they don't know who the hell you are. I mean, it could be a combination of things. So, again, I didn't necessarily have a problem with anything Tammy did. I just had a problem with her timing. You don't, if you know that she's having a hard time adjusting to a new school and making friends and stuff, then the last thing you need to do is embarrass her in front of those same people she's trying to be friends with. Like, come on, you were a teenager once. You know you don't do that. And then, of course, Waka is siding with the girl. He going to tell Tammy that, well, you need to make sure she can get to school. And Tammy was like, really? Like, you think it's my fault too? Like, somebody else is coming down on me? So, from that point, like, I'm with you, Tammy. I kind of had your back. Now, Tammy's in the studio. Now, here's the thing. They're in the studio with Sean Garrett, and they doing this and they doing that. Waka is back in the project. She's an independent artist, and lucky for her, she has a husband with money and who knows the industry, and he's backing her project. Sean Garrett, and this is, again, I'm with you, Tammy. Sean Garrett says to Tammy, I really think you need to dig deeper. I want to take you to the next level. I need you to talk about being married to Waka Flocka. And Tammy was like, I don't want to do that. Tammy said, look, I did that with my EP. I talked all about the infidelity, how we broke up, how we got back together, how we are where we are now. She said, been there, done that. I'm sick of talking about it. I'm sick of going there. She said, I want to show women there's a whole nother side of Tammy. She said, do y'all even realize I was married before? I was in an abusive relationship. I went through a whole lot of things before I even met Waka Flocka. I want to explore those things. Let me talk about that. But what I don't want to do is produce another project where all I do is talk about being Waka Flocka's wife. And you know what, Tammy? Kudos, boo. I applaud Tammy for not only understanding and knowing that she had more to offer in her music, but to standing her ground and saying, no, I have more to offer than that. And you know what? I think Sean Garrett respected it as well, because he sort of backed down a little bit and was like, okay, all right, I see. So Waka doesn't like how Tammy necessarily disciplines Charlie, because Tammy was frustrated. Tammy kind of told Charlie to keep her head up, and she kind of tapped her like that. I don't think she slapped the girl. I don't think it was that deep or that serious. And I think she was trying to tell her, look, this one when she was having a conversation about the kids looking at her funny, her being the only black girl on the bus, and she was like, look, keep your chin up, like, get it together, like, that ain't nothing new. So we see Walker's frustrated with a lot of things. He's frustrated with the money for the project. He's frustrated with Tammy and Charlie's relationship. Like, he's frustrated with a lot of things. He goes to talk to his mom. And here's where Deb kind of irritated me. Your son is coming to you saying, look, I need to talk to somebody. I need to go to therapy. I need it to just be me, because I got to figure some things out before I can talk to my wife about them, because I don't know how to articulate what it is I'm thinking, and I want to go talk to a therapist. And Deb did the same thing that we as black folk do all the time, and we're like, You don't need to talk to no therapist. I know what's wrong. It's Tammy's fault. So first of all, you're discouraging him from going to getting help, and he's telling you he needs help. Two, he's telling you it's not all Tammy. He's telling you some of this is me. It ain't all Tammy's fault. It ain't all Tammy's issue, and I'm trying to figure it out so I'll know how to best articulate what my issue is. So then you're gonna say, well, let me talk to Tammy, and he's like, no, you can't go to my wife with a problem without me going to my wife with that problem. Like, you can't do that. He said, you've done that before. You can't do that. Then the producer is going to say, Waka, can I ask you a question? And Waka was like, what? Well, I mean, why do you think you need to go talk to somebody? What do you need to talk to them about? And so then Waka understandably got upset. One, dude, I'm gonna need you to just be a producer and stay on the other side of the camera. Let me finish up this scene talking to my mama, because he was already irritated with his mother at the way she was responding. Two, I'm sure he was offended by, why are you questioning me? Why are you questioning that I'm saying I need to go and talk to a therapist and what I need to say to them? And he was like, well, I mean, I've been married too. Walker was like, yeah, but you married. Your marriage ain't my marriage. Like, just stay on the other side of the camera and let me say what I got to say. And he got really frustrated and he walked out. And again, to his credit, I don't know. That whole scene was just weird to me. Because, Deb, I'm not understanding why you're discouraging him. And I don't understand why you're trying to make it all Tammy's fault. And he was even telling you, no, it's not just Tammy. It's both of us. And then you're going to say, it's Tammy. Tammy just not doing. I mean, I know my son. I know Walker. Things are going wrong in his marriage. And it's Tammy's fault. And then she even went so far as to make it seem like that Tammy is verbally abusive to Walker. I don't like the way she talks to you. You know, people who are in abusive relationships, they don't even identify. I'm like, what? And Walker was like, that's how she used to talk to me before. But since we've worked things out and we've gotten back together, like, that's, you know, she talks to me like that to remind me not to get out of line, to remind me that, you know. So I don't know. But it was the first episode, honey. We'll see where they go with it from here. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in the comments. Peace.